Lake Cumberland's Power Country K93. I'm Rod on the phone with Nick Mundt of the Bone Collectors on Outdoor Channel. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great. How are you, man?
I'm doing wonderful. Now, you just told me before we went on the air that you were tracking an elk this morning?
No, an antelope, actually.
An antelope?
Yeah, I got an arrow into one last night, and it wasn't the greatest shot, so I wanted to leave him overnight.
Right.
We ended up finding him this morning, but unfortunately the coyotes got to him first. So the only thing left is his head and his rib cage, which, it's sad and funny at the same time.
Yeah.
But if you're a hunter and you hunt long enough, it happens, I guess.
Yeah, well, it doesn't leave much for the freezer and probably not a whole lot for the wall either, huh?
Fortunately, I got another cape in the freezer. So
there you go. Well, good deal. Well, we want to tell everyone there's a huge fan base here, and I find it ironic that I actually started watching the show while getting my hair cut at my barber up here in Science Hill, and I find out that that's kind of along the path you started, too.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
Yeah, it was after I got out of high school, went to barber school, and worked for several years in the barbershop before I kind of got into the hunting business, and then I went into guiding and then filming, and then was lucky enough to be in front of the camera. But, I got my start as a barber. I still do it today, cut my friends and family's hair still on the road and some of the guys in camp, and I still enjoy it.
I was going to say, always keep your license current because you always need a backup plan.
And I do, and it's a fun job. You know, it's cool in the summer and warm in the winter.
Right.
You get to BS a lot, which I'm good at.
Oh, yeah. And you also get to find out where all those good hunting spots and fishing holes are, too.
Exactly.
Well, listen, we're talking, you started out spearfish, South Dakota. How in the world did you get into this type of work? I mean, it's like the dream job. You're getting paid to do what people work all their lives to get a few days off a year to do. I mean, it's awesome.
It really is a dream job, that's for sure. And I got my start. I was a guide at 7J Outfitters in Wyoming, and the Realtree guys had heard about us and wanted to come do a show there. And I was guiding David Blanton, and typically back in those days, I had a small video camera with me, and everywhere I went, I videoed the critters I was scouting, and then I'd video my clients and the kids in the camp. And when David came, I got an opportunity to show him some of that video. And so he took a look and said, man, you run a good video camera. We could use a guy like you. And so I went to work for Realtree and worked there for about 9 years, got to be really good friends with Michael and T-Bone, and was kind of Bill Jordan's right-hand cameraman. Went everywhere with him for about 5 years. And then Michael started the Realtree Road Trips show. And then after that, he and I just kind of started doing some appearances together on that. I was a cameraman, and so I got to screw around a bunch with him in camp, and people liked it. And so after quite a few years of doing that, Michael decided it was time to start his own brand. And so we got our blessings from Realtree, and so we started Bone Collector. And then now actually we host the Road Trips show as well, all three of us, for Realtree. So that's kind of how I got my start. And like you say, it is a dream job. And, and it's something that I don't take for granted. And every day I feel like I'm blessed to do it. And I think more than us, the job being going out and shooting animals, I think our job is more to try to get people involved in hunting, whether it be kids or new hunters or women or whatever. It's our job to spread the good word about hunting and let people know it's a great thing and it's a tradition, and it's just our job to get as many people involved as we can.
Well, no matter how many people are out in the woods with you, you can always puff up your chest and look around and say, now, don't I have a great view from my office?
There's just no doubt. I'm just as blessed as I can be, for sure.
Okay, now, Bone Collector's in its fifth year, is that right? Fifth season?
No, actually, we're just getting ready to film our seventh.
Seventh? Wow. Time flies.
Yeah, it does. Amazing.
Tell me about it, and I hope you don't mind talking about it. I'm interested in hearing the story about your first buck and a pile of manure.
My dad and I, we hunted a bunch together in the Black Hills in South Dakota, and I was actually 14 when I shot my first one.
Right.
And I had a driver's license. South Dakota, you can get your driver's license when you're 14, so I got out of school and went out to this spot we had, and when I got out there, the deer were already out in the alfalfa, and so I didn't know how I was going to get to him. The only way I could see was there was this huge pile of manure that the rancher had piled up from the corral. So I belly crawled behind it and then crawled right up on top of it, and I was laying in a huge pile of poo-poo. And I shot my very first buck right off that pile of manure, and and it was about 100-inch 4x4 whitetail, and I was just stoked, and definitely was hooked after that. So,
and then it kind of sunk in after you bagged it. It's like, I gotta field dress this.
It was kind of, I like to say, it was kind of a crappy deal. But
yeah, definitely.
Turned out good though.
Well, tell me about what's happening at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington coming up on the 22nd and 24th. The ultimate outdoor adventure. What can people expect?
Man, it's just going to be basically we like to call it a redneck pep rally. You're going to have all kinds of booths, outfitters, goods to buy. People will be doing seminars and doing exhibitions, and I'll have Travis with me, T-Bone, and Kenneth Lancaster as well, who is part of our Bone Collector team, and he also has his own television show on the Sportsman's Channel. So he'll be there, and it's just going to be a really good time for sportsmen to come out, get ready for the hunting season. You know, if you want to book a hunt or buy some new gear, that's what it's all about. But it's just all about camaraderie and getting everybody together, you know, that believe in the same thing and really promoting hunting. So it's going to be a great time.
That's Nick Mundt with Bone Collector Outdoor Channel. Check him out there or at the Ultimate Outdoor Adventure, August 22nd, 23rd, and 24th at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington.